There we go. Sorry about that. No idea what happened. For some reason, it wouldn't let me do a live chat thing. Right, there we go. Yeah, sorry about that. It's typical. Just wait till I get a few people in here before I start saying anything. Anybody who's watching this on the playback, thank you very much. Saying we got 3 people here. Don't know if that's right or not. Hello, if anybody is here. Rachel Jane's Allotment's here. Hello, thank you very much for coming along. How are you today? Nick's here. Sophia's here. Hello, thank you very much for coming along. Please remember to hit the like. It really helps the live stream. Monty's here. Thank you very much for the raid, Monty. I appreciate that. All right, so we're saying we've got 8 people here, 4 likes. 9 people here now, apparently. So now we've got a few people here. I have had absolutely everything going on the past few weeks around my garden. Obviously, with all the storms, everything's just, it's like a bomb's gone off in my chicken pen and in my garden. There's just pots and mud absolutely everywhere. I'm sure a lot of you are having the same issues at the minute. But the greenhouse, I did speak about this, and I think I have done a video, but for anybody who hasn't seen that, hello Taib, how are you? Sorry, I'm just messaging a friend a second. He's trying to speak on the live stream. Jim Bob, I don't know if you're on the right live stream. If you are, if you're on this one, I don't know what's happening, but you might not be. Wait a second one. Right, sorry about that. But yeah, so my greenhouse is completely full of wildflower turf. I spoke about it last week. They are all flowering now, and I cannot record a decent video without the camera just stopping focusing, because most of the flowers currently are daisies, and my camera really doesn't like any white colors. It just won't focus. So I've been struggling with that, trying to do any videos in the greenhouse recently. So I've actually been filming a lot of videos either outside of the greenhouse or up in the chicken pen doing videos like that. So UK Here We Grow is here. Carl's here. Brian's here. Hello, thank you very much for coming along. How are you today? But I've recently, it was Thursday evening, I got 25 free range chickens for free. They were 2 years old at the time. And normally, if it was, say, like a battery farms type thing for chickens, they'd just be sent off to be killed. But what this farm tries to do is give away as many of these hens as they can before they send them away to be killed. So I managed to get 25 of them. I think I've already got about a dozen eggs from them, which is really good, because normally when you move chickens about, they get a bit stressed out and don't lay. But my current flock are not by any means layers. They're more show chickens than anything, even though I'm not planning on actually showing them. Frank's here. Hello. Thank you very much for coming along. But yeah, so because none of mine are show hens, I've never really been able to sell them because I haven't really had enough eggs, because they just aren't very good layers. But these new ones are laying really well. So I've actually started selling a few eggs, because since I started keeping chickens last summer, I think I've spent about £300 on them, and I haven't made a penny from them yet. So I'm beginning to make a little bit from them now. It's really just to pay for their feed more than anything, so that I'm not constantly sinking money into it. Because I really enjoy keeping the chickens, which is why I didn't mind just, spending the money on them and getting nothing back. But now I've got these laying hens, it's a bit of a bonus to get some money from it. But I'm hoping, like in the summer and stuff, I'll be able to have almost too many eggs, because currently I'm just about filling any orders I get for the eggs. So I've just realized that light is... There we go. Just tilt the mic away. Yeah, I wish, to be honest, Nick, I wish I'd taken on more. But I don't think I could have really fit any more in their current pen because I've literally just done up an old cabin essentially for them to live in, put a new door on and things like that. They've not really got any proper roosting at the minute, apart from a pallet in the corner and a few little pieces of roosting we had in an old ark. But other than that, they've not really got anything proper because I wasn't expecting to get them. So I just sort of got the door set up, made it all up in there for them, and left it like that for a minute. Yeah, definitely, Carl. Like I said, I'd been doing it, making absolutely nothing, and I was still enjoying it. But now I know that I'm not just going to spend loads of money on it. It's more enjoyable now because I don't have to worry about, feeding the hens or anything because they should essentially pay for themselves, which would be good. Yeah, that is something to worry about. Fortunately, being on the farm, we got sort of fields around the chicken pens, and we're not in a very built up area as such. So there's nobody, touch wood, who would go after them, but you do never know. So my plan currently is, after speaking in Monty's live stream, is to section off. I'd say about a quarter of it tomorrow. I'm going to hopefully do that, even if it is raining. Sow some grass seed because we haven't had any grass in there for years, ever since it flooded, and just nothing's grown in there since. So I'm going to section off an area and then hopefully grow a bit of grass in there for them to try and reduce the mud, because anybody who's in Monty's live stream will know, or might know from what I was saying, that my chicken pen currently is just absolutely covered in mud. I can't walk from one end of the chicken pen to the other without slipping over. It is really bad at the minute. And I'm less worried about that. I'm more worried about the fact that my chickens are stood on that, because obviously mud can pass on disease and it can damage their feet. So I'm hoping to come up with some sort of solution. I would do the wood chips solution, but to get that many wood chips to cover that much space just wouldn't make sense, because it's quite a large chicken pen. It's sort of the size of an average allotment, if that gives you an idea of how big the chicken pen is. So to fill all of that with wood chip just wouldn't work, unfortunately. Quick Smoke is here. Hello, thank you very much for coming along. I really appreciate that. So what's everybody been up to in the gardens lately? I suppose we've all mainly been tidying up. I know a lot of people have had some flooding. Anybody had any snow? We've been having like bits of hail and then little bits of sleet, but nothing that really sticks, unfortunately. So UK Here We Grow is saying contact our local tree surgeon. They covered a 1,000 square foot chicken pen with wood chips in a few days from them. Maybe I will then. The thing is, though, I do want to try and have a bit of plant life in there for them so that they can pick away at it. But I might have to do something like that in the end, because it is getting really bad in there. You have to get me in the garden first. Oh. Have you still got your chickens, Brian? Because I think it was last year you were getting it all cleared out and stuff for the chickens. There's a page on Facebook you can ask for wood chips from tree surgeons to drop off for free. I'll have a look at that, Rachel. Thank you. Nick saying no snow, just relentless rain. Yeah, I think it's like that everywhere, really. Brian saying still housebound. Down to 2. Oh no. What is that, the fox or just the cold? Or have people been stealing from you? I know you said before that you were having issues with thieves. Forking allotments here. Hello, thank you very much for coming along. If you haven't already, please hit the like. It really helps the channel. Theft and predators. That's the thing. I'm lucky. It's a rent a fence pen. I still shut my chickens away at night because I just don't want to risk them. But at the same time, I'm relatively confident that nothing would get in. But still, I don't have enough confidence to leave them out. I just think that's unfair on them, because if anything did get in, there's not really much they can do to escape. They're just sort of sitting ducks at that point. Is the stream working? Because on my end, it's saying it's buffering. It's saying it on my phone as well. Bish is here. Hello. How are you? I know your garden's been flooded recently, hadn't it? Have you got any solutions for that, or is it still flooded? All good. Okay, thanks. No buffering. All right. I think it's just my phone. The signal's a bit weak up in my room, so I have to turn my phone on to 4G mode to be able to see the chat because my computer can't take it. So has anybody been sowing any seeds lately? I've sown some Mimosa pudica, I put up the video for, but I've also sown some geraniums, some tomatoes, things like that, really. Sorry about my phone going off. I'll mute that. There you go. Everybody just saying hello to each other for a minute. All right, there we go. I think I fixed the internet problem on my end. But if it's good for everybody else, that's all right anyway. I need to do some next week. What are you planning on sowing? Sort of just your average seeds or anything interesting? So UK Here We Grow is sowing tomatoes, chilies, peas, sweet pea, cabbage, cauliflower, and broad beans. That's a good selection. They're nice, like starter ones for the year, if you know what I mean, because they're all very different, but they're all very easy to care for as well earlier in the year. Because weather like this, I don't want to be out in the garden for hours. So much, not even sure. Yeah, I've got the same. I sowed all of mine last week, and then the very next day, my friend asked if they could borrow a load of my greenhouse space to get ready for the show garden. They needed to put some wildflower turf down within the greenhouse, try and bring it along a little bit for the show garden, and it was typical because now I have absolutely no room in my greenhouse, so I'm gonna have to try and find a solution for that. I think what I'll end up doing is getting some perspex and just sort of have that in a corner somewhere outside and build like a sort of a temporary cold frame essentially just to bring them on a little bit. Or I'll risk it and either have them in the walkway of the greenhouse, but if any of my dogs go in there, they're trampled, or just stick them outside and hope for the best. But I'm hoping to sell most of the tomatoes soon anyway, so I might get away with just leaving them in our conservatory for a little bit longer. That's a good idea, Rachel Jane, eating the seedlings as microgreens. Who did I see said they were going to try that? Was that Nick? I think earlier in Monty's stream said he was going to try microgreens. Just try not to miss everything. So Brian's saying, got to be careful not to sow too much at once. That's my problem all the time. I want to sow all of the seeds because I've got several boxes in the bottom of my wardrobe, and I want to sow all of them because they're all really interesting. And I got to sort of hold myself back and limit myself to sort of 4 or 5 packets of seeds. Otherwise, I will just sow all of them and then have absolutely no room a month later. UK Falcon Allotment saying got some seeds from the US. Are going to try them. That sounds good. UK Here We Grow saying successional sowing is important. I agree with you. So I think I've got 100 tomatoes in at the minute. Usually I can sell sort of 50 of those within the first few weeks. The others just sort of carry on and just slowly sell away. I normally left with like 10 or 20. And then depending on what the demand's like after that, I'll probably end up sowing some more. And then those ones will be for myself if any are left over. But I normally do all right with tomatoes and manage to sell them. Although last year I did get caught out, but several people that I know who run a nursery had the same issue. Just nobody seemed to want to buy any sort of vegetables last year for some reason. So we all ended up throwing loads away. But hopefully this year, fingers crossed anyway, it will be a little bit easier and there won't be so much waste. Small Garden Escape is here. Hello. Thank you very much for coming along. How are you? You've recently come back onto YouTube, I see. Brian's saying can't afford to loan out space. No, I know, but it was for 60 quid. And to be fair, a lot of what I'm sowing, everything I had in the greenhouse needed to go anyway. So it did me a favor, really. I had to move them out. So it was worth it on my end because, like I said, I'm hoping to sell most of the tomatoes before they go into my greenhouse, but we'll just have to see. It won't be there for very long. I think it's going to be till April, sort of like, early April, and then they'll be gone. So I'm happy with that. And also got some mushroom logs in there at the minute, which is going to be interesting. Just taking those out literally like 20 minutes ago from my water butt outside, which is absolutely freezing. So Brian's saying growing extras, but had a lot of help, payback time. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that people are helping you. Because it is, it is a struggle even for me, and I've literally just got to go across the yard to get to the chickens, and my garden's literally just outside of my door, really. But even then, it is difficult to get out there sometimes because 101 things to do. The weather's awful, and you just don't want to go out. So I'm glad that people are helping you with that, Brian. Forking allotments saying have Deoto, jalapeno, lilac bell pepper, masterpiece, fava broad bean, early purple sprouting broccoli, and Carrington leeks, if the memory serves them right. It's a long list. Nothing like mine yet, but it'll grow, I'm sure. I have no idea what variety I'm onto. I was just given the logs and told to leave them in the water butt for 30 hours and then to cut them in half and leave them in a shaded place in the greenhouse. But other than that, I know nothing. Basically, we've got a load of these logs that have been inoculated with mushroom spores, and they put like wax over them. And we don't know how long it's going to take them to fruit, and depending on weather and stuff. So every week we're going to take another log, cut it in half, leave it in the water butt, and then take it out and do it like that. So hopefully we'll have at least one log come the time of the show garden that will be fruiting. That's the plan anyway, but we'll just have to wait and see. Yeah, I've tried growing I think it was white button mushrooms before. It was like a little kit that I had, but I never really had any success with them. I think I got 2 or 3 mushrooms and that was about it. So I've sort of given up on that, but I might try it one day because people seem to say it's like, quite easy. There was a book I was reading, How to Make Money from Your Garden. It's a relatively old book, but in there, that was how they started horticulture when they were sort of 7, 8, and 9 in an old shed, growing all sorts of mushrooms. So I do want to give it a try, but it's just having the space and the patience to do it because there's so many other things that I want to grow and I just don't have the room currently. But when I get this polytunnel set up, and I've actually got 3 sets of hoops for it now. So when I get those set up, fingers crossed, I'll be able to try things like that because I'll have one that's dedicated to sale plants and then the rest will just be, well, whatever really. I don't really know yet. What have I missed? Forking allotment saying, have many others set to sow in March, but just need to buy some propagators. I never have much luck with propagators, to be honest. I always find it's my own fault, really. I think I leave them in the propagator for too long and the plants just end up it's not even burning. They just sort of go back into themselves almost and just sort of shrivel, which is a real shame. But because of that, I've never really had much success with them. And another thing is airflow. I've not got any decent propagators, so when I do get propagators, they're literally just like a plastic takeaway thing, or those little cheap ones you get from like garden centers and stuff, and there's just no airflow in them. And a lot of the plants that I have, if you need them in a propagator, they say leave the propagator lid off, don't take it off because you'll lose the humidity and the warmth and stuff. But then because of that, they don't have any air circulation and just sort of rot off basically. So I never have much luck with them. What I like to do is get some cling film, put that over the pots of any seeds that need it, and then sort of cut holes in the top like with a pin, just so it's got a bit of airflow. I need to invest in Vitopod. They're awesome. I'll have a look at that. I'll get a piece of paper, otherwise I'll forget it. 2 minutes. So Falcon Allotment saying, think maybe okay in the greenhouse without the propagator, so may do some of those next week too. Sounds good. So Brian's saying he tried lion's mane mushrooms. They sound cool, but kept getting bitten and scratched. Must have been doing something wrong. Yeah, I struggled with the mushrooms. They never really amounted to anything. I'm probably doing it wrong. I know Monty's a bit of an expert of mushrooms. He's done a lot of videos on them, so he might be the one to ask. Happy Lux is here. Hello, thank you very much for coming along. How are you today? Yeah, I've never heard of them, Small Garden Escape. I'll have to look into that after the live stream. So do they just do, what sort of products do they do? Obviously, I'm assuming propagators, but do they do anything else? So Nick's saying they're quite expensive. They'd love one, but haven't been able to find the cash for one. So are they electric propagators then, by the sounds of things, if they're quite expensive, or are they just like really big propagators? Because I've just got the like mini ones that go over a half cell seed tray, and they're absolutely awful. So UK Here We Grow saying got lion's mane and should take on in logs, but haven't shocked them. How do you shock them? Is that soaking them in the water? I'm assuming. That's what that is. Hope so. Otherwise, I've done something wrong with those logs. I'm sort of looking after them for a friend. I hope I haven't done that wrong. I think that's what shocking is for the first fruiting. You have to throw them in cold water. All right, phew, I've done it right then. Done it right. Wouldn't mind trying with a Vitapod if they had the money. Yeah, they do sound expensive, but if they're good, then it'd be worth it. Yeah, I wish YouTube had like a better live stream chat or something where even if it was like to post a picture, the moderators or something had to like approve it or something. I do think it would be useful. Ernie Hatmaker is here. Hello, thank you very much for coming along. I really appreciate that. So UK Here We Grow. Seems you're a bit of a mushroom growing expert then. I've got these logs. I've literally just taken them out of the water. Do I put them in the sun, or do I just stick them under a bench and forget about them? And do I need to water them? That's another thing. Do I keep them sort of damp? Do I need to put them in any soil or anything? Keep them in the shade. Okay, is that like shade or just sort of partial? Because I don't want to mess these up because they're not mine. So I've got to baby them a little bit. So we got 12 people here, 15 likes. If you haven't already, please hit the like. In water for 24 hours and throw them under the shade of a tree and leave them to fruit. Okay, so I've currently got them in the greenhouse, so I'll take those out at some point. And keep the logs under the staging. Okay. I'll try that then, because I don't want to risk them out in the cold in case it damages them. So UK Here We Grow saying you can't mess them up unless you put them in bleach. You never know. Cool, damp and shaded areas. Think about woodlands. Okay. I think I got a spot for them that would work. Any watering will be done every time you water the plants on the staging. Okay, thanks, Brian. I will keep that in mind. Yeah, I think I know where to put it. I've got a free area underneath one of my benches, so I'll just stick it there and hope for the best. Never tried growing mushrooms yet. Me neither until now. Well, apart from that little kit, but I don't recommend kits. They're awful. I'm sure they do it purposely so that they don't fruit very well. So you buy another one to try it because you obviously thought you did it wrong the first time. But no, I haven't properly tried to grow them. But it is quite fun, to be honest, even though they aren't really mine, so I'm not going to benefit from them. It'll still be fun to do. Bit of experience. So that was another thing I was going to say. I currently have loads of old branches, and I was thinking, have any of you ever used branches instead of like bamboo to keep up your broad beans and runner beans and tomatoes and stuff like that? And if so, would you recommend it? Because it would be a shame to waste a lot of the branches, because we've recently had a few trees partially cut down, and we're just going to throw them away otherwise. But if I could use them instead of using bamboo, then pea sticks. So they do work by the sounds of things. If I think Rachel James used them. Yeah, I'm only getting like half the feed on my computer, so sorry if I'm missing anything. The kits are best with 3 or 4 together. Yeah, I think if I do it again, I will buy multiple. But the problem is they're expensive. They'd be fine for peas and stuff. All right, I think I'll give it a go then, because I've got absolutely loads of branches. Green Raven uses them. Okay. Sorry if I missed you coming in, Green Raven, or if you just came in. Oh no, I completely ignored you earlier. Sorry about that. Thank you very much for coming along. And there was one more thing I was going to ask. I can't remember what it was. It wasn't very important. It was just a little question I had, but might come back to me. Buy the inoculant and make your own spores. Then you can make your own mushroom bags up instead of kits. Okay, I'll look into that. I'll write it down again, otherwise, because people give me so many suggestions in live streams and stuff, and I won't remember them then for weeks, and then I'll randomly be doing something, and I'll remember like several of the suggestions people have given me, but at that time I don't want to do them, or I've already done something else. For mushroom kits. Oh, Poundland for mushroom kits. I see. All right, I'll look into that as well. Thanks, Nick. I'll look at that after the live stream, and anybody else who's interested. But be careful as well. I meant to mention this in Monty's live stream. Posting links to anything that takes you out of YouTube. Currently, YouTube, like the bots or whatever for YouTube, aren't too happy about doing stuff like that. So just be careful posting links that might take you out of YouTube, because I don't know what the issue with it is, but I don't think they like it too much. Carl's going. Thank you very much for coming along. I really appreciate that. Have a good evening. So Laura's breaking up tiny branches and adding them to the planting containers to decompose naturally. So sort of like a hugelkultur method then, I'm assuming, just on a smaller scale. No, I didn't mean to. I just completely missed you. I think I must have been talking about something. UK Here We Grow saying, if you could share the pic, show you one with the load of stuff in. Have you done any videos about them? I'll have a look at one of those if you have. Upside down hugelkultur, yeah. Have I missed something? Oh, no, I see. So trying to get one for free for a review. That's a good idea. They'll think it's a bit suspicious, all of us YouTubers going over there asking for free kits and stuff. So UK Here We Grow saying not yet, but there will be one coming. But they've done a blog on sweet potato slips that shows it. Okay, I'll have a look at that. Is the blog on your YouTube channel? I'm assuming, or is it on a different social media that you've done it on? Oh, I see. So open them in a new screen, or you'll lose points for the algorithm. All right, thanks. I didn't actually know quite how it worked, but I just knew that it wasn't the greatest thing to do. Ah, your website. Okay. What's the name for your website? Is it just UK Here We Grow? I'll have a look at that after the live stream. So we've been going for half an hour, or just over half an hour. I got 9 people here and 15 likes. I wasn't planning on doing a live stream, and you may be able to see and hear that I am completely drained because I've been outside in the freezing cold all day, trying to sort out these new chickens, and then doing loads of potting up, taking loads of cuttings. So I'm a little bit drained after today. So I probably won't do my regular hour live stream. I might cut it a little bit short, but we'll see because I've already run out of coffee. So Falcon Allotment saying had quite a few things for free for reviews. King Seed seem quite willing to give you free stuff to YouTubers. I'm going to try and exploit that. Next time I need a seed order, I'll speak to them. It sounds like it, Rachel. Yeah, just say you'll do a review, and they seem to be happy enough to do that. To be fair, it makes sense because it is free advertisement. All they're doing is giving you a few seeds. So I might give that a go when I get my polytunnel set up. I'll do a few reviews. So Falcon Allotment saying he's had garlic, onion sets, and 3 2.5 bags of seed potatoes. Not bad for freebies. I think the only freebies I ever get are the little ones you get in magazines. In like gardening, what's it called? Grow Your Own and Gardening Questions or something it's called. I can't remember. I got it down there somewhere. What's it called? Garden News. That's it. Garden News. The little free ones they have in there where you pay for postage and you get all sorts of things for free. That's the only sort of thing that I really do for freebies. I never thought to ask for things for a review, but that is a good idea. As you get bigger, they'll even pay you. I suppose they would. Isn't that how that's how like most of the bigger YouTubers make their money? That's a good question. So Rachel's asking, do you email the companies or just speak to them over the phone? Because I know some companies never really look at their emails and never really respond to them. You just get like a robot talk back to you, and that's it. And that really annoys me. No, me neither, Nick. It never really came to me. So UK Here We Grow is saying just signed a contract for 1,500 for a video. Wow, congratulations. So Allotment Life is saying, think a polytunnel is the way so I can drive in. I think so, to be fair, Brian, because if you're going to do it, I highly, highly, highly recommend getting a green polytunnel cover. They're 60% shading, because I don't know if you've been in a normal polytunnel, but it is awful. It's worse than a greenhouse in the summer. And putting up shading is an absolute pain, and then putting it back again, it takes about half a day, and that's for 2 people to do it. I really don't recommend getting clear covered or opaque covered. I highly recommend getting a green cover. They are more suitable towards shrubs. However, I've spoken to a local garden centre, Buncuse Garden Centre. They've won a few awards at Chelsea, well, quite a lot of awards at Chelsea Garden Show. Yeah, so opaque is better, providing you have good ventilation. That's the thing. If you have open sides, it's all right. But I've been speaking to the ones with the green covers, and to be honest, they said as long as you try and keep any trees and stuff that might be shading it sort of out of the way, you can normally get away with growing most things in it. Obviously, anything that wants really good, like a cactus, you wouldn't want to grow a cactus, but you'd probably get away with growing tomatoes and things like that in there. So I've missed a load now. So we need a media deck for speaking with companies. Is that like a social media page? I'm assuming, like a Facebook page or something. The best free haul so far is £30 worth of stuff from Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds. Oh, congratulations! Yeah. Like I said, it's never really occurred to me, but I think I'll look into that after the live stream and see if I can find anything. UK Hero Grows saying never use shading on the tunnel. Oh, we have to. We were in there. My friend's polytunnel. We were in there last summer, and the plants were literally just burning in front of us. All sorts in there was just burning. We cannot get away with it. We have to put shading up. There's no real other option for us. They just burn. Rachel Jane saying just replace the white polytunnel cover with green because the white one came apart and dropped tiny plastic all over the veg. Oh no. I suppose what you could do with that is, I suppose it depends how much time you have, but I don't know how many veg beds you've got, but if you've only got a few, perhaps taking out the first few inches of the soil and just sort of sieving it through to try and catch things. But I doubt you've really got the time for that. Has anybody got anything that would help Rachel with that? Getting rid of all of the plastic in the beds. UK Here We Grow says, no, it's a breakdown of stats, who you are, what you can do to align with the company, viewing stats and demographics. Okay, so do I need to be monetized to do something like this then? And do I need like frequent views, for example, or is it just like how many views I've got on my channel in total, things like that? Install more windows into it. Okay. There isn't really anywhere for us to put windows in this polytunnel because, well, as it is currently, the wind almost ripped it off in the storms we've been having. So, to be honest, I don't think we'd be able to have the side ones. They've got 2. One of them is at a different side of their farm, and it's fine. It doesn't really get affected, and that does have the it's got like, I don't know, a meter or so gap with netting at the bottom. But this other one, I don't think we'd be able to do it because of how windy it is there, because there's nothing to shelter it. But I'll let them know. Kelly's Kitchen Gardens here. Hello, thank you very much for coming along. How are you today? Brian saying, would the burning occur from recent watering? No, it was early in the morning. We hadn't actually gotten to watering them yet. They were just the heat and the intensity from the sun was just killing them. Literally, they were burning as if they were, being watered, stuff like that. But they weren't. They were bone. They were bone. Well, the soil itself was moist, but the plant was bone dry. There was no moisture on it at all. But they were just burning. It might be because there's no shelter or anything. So UK Here We Grow is saying, no, you don't need to be monetized, but the views and subscribers will become an important factor for them as they want to see that they will benefit from it. Yeah, that's fair enough. Oh, that's all right, Ernie. I appreciate it. It doesn't get much windier than Wales. Yeah, I'm sure it doesn't. I think it's just really how the terrain is, because there's trees either side and it's sort of on like a relatively flat area. I think the wind just funnels through. And as well, the polytunnel itself is quite old. So if we were to do it again, might be something worth looking into. When I'm setting up my polytunnels, I'll probably do it. But that's the thing. It's a lot warmer in Cornwall than most other parts of the UK. So we sort of got our own microclimate down here. So unfortunately, it does burn in the summer. But I will look into perhaps getting some side pieces for when I put up my own polytunnel, because I would rather have the proper cover that works well and that gets my plants the right kind of light. But, like I said, I'll look into it, because I think it's about £100 cheaper to get a regular cover as opposed to a green cover. So Falcon Allotment saying how that UK Here We Grow has the benefit of 80,000 subs. Yeah, that would help. So UK Here We Grow is saying that they picked up the first sponsor was Oakland Gardens at 3,000 subs, and they're still with me. So do they reach out to you then for sponsorship, or do you have to reach out to them? It's all about selling what you can do for the company. Yeah, that's fair enough. Me too, Falcon Allotment. Me too. 1K would be amazing. Which reminds me, actually, it's 3 more days to go till my channel's 1 year anniversary, and within my first year, somehow, no idea how, 500 people, or just over 500 people, were silly enough to subscribe to me. So thank you very much. I really appreciate that, to everybody who's been here with me from the start, or any new people. I really appreciate that. And I know it's cheesy, but I couldn't have done it without you. Okay, so Tony's saying they reached out to them, but now companies message them daily, turn 90% of them down, don't believe in the product. That's the thing. I don't want to sort of be saying anything false, because I always hate when you see another person's video and they're promoting, really, it's like an empty promotion. Essentially, they don't actually believe in the product. They're just saying it. And that really annoys me, because they should be selling it because they would use the product themselves and they want other people to use it. Yeah, I need to make some more videos as well, Rachel. I'm too inconsistent, to be fair. So, that's probably another reason why I don't think I'd ever really get sponsored and just stuff like that, because I'm busy on the farm, so I don't upload anything, and then I'm not busy, so I upload loads and stuff like that. And I do try and pace it out, but eventually I run out of videos and there's still nothing to talk about, and there's not much I can do at those points. And you can probably tell when I make a video just for the sake of making a video, because there's nothing else. But a lot of the time it's just to show that I've not left YouTube and that I'm still here. But I will try and do these lives as much as I can. At the minute, There's a lot to record, but the wind is just messing absolutely everything up. So it just isn't worth me making a video on these things because, well, quite frankly, you can't hear me. The wind's in the background too much. So I got to time it quite right. For those with channels who think they will never get there, just remember that they were making videos for 6 years to get to 5K. The last 2 years went from 5K to 81K. Wow. Wow, that is amazing. Thanks, Brian. I appreciate that. And well done, Forking Allotment at 616 after 7 months. Well done. That is quite an achievement. So Tony's saying, don't worry about the consistency. Concentrate on the video. Will do. Thank you, Nick. I really appreciate that. And I do still have the quails. Yes. Not much to say about them at the minute. They're not really laying. They're just sort of continuing. They're not doing too much, so. If anybody hasn't already, then Rachel Jane's got 125 subs. So if you haven't already, check her channel out. She makes some really good videos. Who'd have thunk it? Yeah. That's the thing. I hit 40 subs, I think, in my first few weeks because my UK Homestead gave me a shout out like the day after I started my YouTube channel, pretty much. And I remember then thinking, oh my God, I never imagined this. And then while after I hit 100, I was thinking, wow, I did not expect that. I didn't expect 100 in my first year, let alone, in my first several months. So I'm amazed really at, how well the channel has done since I started it. So same as everyone else, work hard to make good videos, share them on Facebook groups. That's the thing. I never do that because I don't want to annoy people, if you know what I mean, by putting stuff on there. So I sort of just leave it and try and watch the other people's videos. But I feel like people get annoyed if I post too much. So I never really, I share out the odd video if I'm really proud of one. Or if one's doing really well, I might share it out. But other than that, I don't normally do anything that way. So Brian's saying he looks for neither sponsors or monetization, just reviews any tools he buys. Yeah, that's sort of what I do, except I don't really do a review. I just use them and then say I like them or I hate them. It's less of a review and more of just if there's something I really like, I'll share it kind of thing. But it would be nice at the same time to get a sponsorship or something. But yeah, maybe one day if I work at it hard enough. It'll happen for you all. You just need to stick with it and not quit. Yeah, that is exactly it. If you quit, you will fail. And I don't know if anybody's seen Jim Bob's channel recently, but he's moving house currently, and I don't think he's posted that many videos since the summer. And he was on 108, 109. I think now he's on 98, unfortunately. And he was just about to make a 100 subscriber special as well. But with the move, he's just been too busy to upload anything. And a lot of people have unsubscribed from him. So if anybody likes, if you've ever watched any of my videos and you enjoy them, check out Jim Bob's channel. He's got some pretty similar sort of videos, but completely different personality. And he makes some really good videos. He was doing a beginner's guide a while ago. So if any of you know any people who are new to gardening, make sure you send them over to that. They are really good. Kelly's Kitchen Garden saying, blown away of how fast the channel's growing. Still can't get over people wanting to watch the bee garden. It's the same with me. Obviously, my growth of my channel's been nowhere near as good as all yours, but I can't believe that 500 people want to watch me upload videos and talk on live streams for an hour about absolutely nothing. Yeah, I suppose you're right. UK, here we grow. That is quite a lot. Well, it is a lot. Never thought anyone would like my videos, let alone sub to my channel. I might be doing something right. You must be. Got to be something along the line that you did right. If you believe in your video, then you shouldn't be ashamed of sharing it. If you're afraid to share it, you don't think the video is good, and there is the answer. If you don't believe in your video, no one will. So make them better then. That's some very good advice. Thank you, UK. Here we go. Yeah, I think I will definitely sort of review my channel in the next few weeks. Going to spring and all now, starting to make a few more videos. I will try and do that. Make more videos that I'm proud of. Quality, not quantity. Some of you may know Chili Chump, friend of mine, Sean. He was on 7K subs when we met last year. He's now on 92. Okay, so when it happens fast. You just need 1 or 2 videos to pick up speed. Aussie J is here. Hello, thank you very much for coming along. I was actually getting close to nearly ending the stream, but thank you very much for coming along. I do appreciate that. Picked up lots of great tips from a channel called vidIQ. I'll have a look at those after the stream. So one more thing I was going to mention actually is with channel growth and stuff. Yeah. Are you going to be doing a live stream later, Aussie J? In a few hours or something? Just woke up. Okay. So you likely to do a live stream later? Maybe. It's difficult if you're not a confident person though. Yeah, confidence is something I struggle with. I never believe in anything I do, really. I'm always expecting it to go wrong at some point or another. So I think that's the main reason why I stopped doing my live streams, to be honest, is I just lost the confidence to do it. I know a lot of people who just that doesn't bother them at all. They're really confident, but I don't. I'm not a confident person, so I'm the same as Nick. That's something that I struggle with, and I'd rather promote somebody else's content than my own. So it's going to be a long live stream from Aussie J. I'll have to look at that later. Hopefully I'll try and catch it this time. So vidIQ is great. So is TubeBuddy channel and Brian G. Johnson, Daryl Eves. Okay, I'll look at those after the live stream. I didn't have a clue when they started. They really helped. Yeah, I'll look at those. They sound good. Aussie J saying, just believe in yourself. But thank you very much to everybody who's come along for the live stream. I think I will put it to an end here. If you haven't already, please hit the like. Oh, wait, here we go. Consider this. 100% more than a new gardener. To them, you will seem like a genius. Just consider this, the info, and film it. And if you're not happy, refilm it. Yeah, that is a good way of looking at it. Thank you. Thank you, Tony. Some very wise words from Tony this live stream. But yeah, as I was saying, thank you very much to everybody who's coming along. I do really appreciate each and every one of you, whether you've been here from the start or you've recently joined my channel. Thank you so much for supporting me. I really do appreciate that. But I'll see you next time. Bye.